Bro, where do I even begin with this chapter? With One Piece 1095, Oda wrote us one hell of a chapter. So we follow up from last chapter where we had the conclusion of Luffy versus Kizaru, where it was sort of a stalemate. On top of that, JayGarcia Saturn reveals his awakened Zoan sort of demonic form, whatever that was. And finally we get glimpses of Kuma'S flashback when Bonney grabs a sword and stabs him with it. Now if last chapter was a meal, then this chapter is an all-you-can-eat buffet. We got Celestial Dragon lore, we got the God Valley flashback, we got Kuma'S flashback, we got Figarland Garling lore, and last but not least, the potential reveal of Luffy's mother. Now I'm gonna do my best to tackle this chapter as efficiently as possible, but it is quite the hefty chapter, even though in terms of pages it is on the shorter end. Now if I may interrupt this video real quick, just for a quick second, if you're enjoying this video so far, why not press the like button? It's free. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment, help press that subscribe button, it's also free, and it would help push my small channel in the algorithm. Now following up from last chapter, it turns out that Saturn just easily removed Bonney's sword without being hurt. Any blood, any wound that he had, it just magically healed. So I'm guessing he has some sort of additional power that may or may not be tied to his devil fruit, whatever that power is. He may or may not be immortal. There's additional evidence to that later in the chapter, but we'll get to that. Now Saturn exerts his pressure, forcing Sanji and Bonney to bleed from their faces. Bonney screams at Saturn saying that he killed her father. Then at this point in the chapter we get lore drop after lore drop when Saturn explains that Kuma, who is from the Buccaneer tribe that committed a grave sin in the past, deserved to be enslaved and die because of that fact. And at this point we dive into Kuma'S flashback, which I'm not gonna lie was one of the sadder things I've read in One Piece in a long time. So Kuma was a half Buccaneer, half human, Buccaneers being a tribe of descendants from the giants who are extra strong. He was born in Sorbet Kingdom like 47 years ago or something like that, but unfortunately the information that he was a Buccaneer was leaked out to the world government, causing him and his family to be enslaved by Marie-Joie. It is then explained to us that Kuma had the tale of Nika, the warrior of liberation, passed down to him by his father in order to maintain hope throughout these hardships. There was even this segment where he was being cheered up by his father, who was dancing like Nika to sort of like cheer him up, before getting murdered in cold blood as Kuma was finally smiling. Really heartbreaking stuff here. Kuma's dad was murdered because he was making too much noise, and you just see child Kuma with a little smile here with the blood of his father splattered all over his face. Again, quite heartbreaking stuff. It was also revealed to us that Kuma passed down the tale of Nika to his daughter Bonney, with whom he danced with in the same fashion. You know, this only adds further evidence to my theory that the sun god Nika himself never actually existed, but instead was just a tale passed among the slaves to maintain hope. Trust me, it's not a video that you want to miss out on, so go check it out in the description below. Also, an interesting side note is that the Buccaneers were said to have committed a grave sin a long time ago, some sort of grave crime, just like Zunisha, so I wonder what the link there is. Now flashing back to 38 years ago, the God Valley flashback begins here. It turns out that the Celestial Dragons hold a tournament every 3 years where they take their slaves and the inhabitants of a chosen non-world government affiliated island, and they have them all fight each other to the death, like some sort of Hunger Games. They chose God Valley in the West Blue because they felt like the name was shameless, but in reality it was called the Valley of the Gods because it was very fertile. But it doesn't matter to them, they didn't like that, they felt like it was disrespectful, so they held the tournament there. Saint Figarland Garling of the Gods Knights pulls up and murders the king of the natives right then and there, and that's right, he looks almost exactly like Shanks, just with a different hairstyle, and he's one of the many contestants that are hunting the problematic slaves, with many female celestial dragons swooning over him. We even see Saint JayGarcia Saturn, and he looks exactly the same as he does today, further adding to the theory that they are either immortal or do not age. It was being reported to Saturn that the prize, Kuma, the child of the Buccaneer tribe, had escaped, and as child Kuma was being beaten by otherworld government agents, a child slave Emporio Ivankov and another slave named Jinny pull up to rescue him. And this is what's interesting about all of this. Ivankov was probably around 15 here, Jinny was probably around like like what, 12, 13? At least that's the age I would give her based on how she looks. Dragon must have been like what, 17, 18? So they're all sort of teenagers around this time. Not to mention Kuma, of course. And as far as we know, everybody I just mentioned, at least except Jinny, have then went on to form the Revolutionary Army. So the thought that's being pushed around the community is that what if Jinny is actually Luffy's mom? I mean, the ages add up. If Dragon were to be like 17, 18 and Jinny were to be like, I don't know, 13, 14, later on it would make sense if they then got together and had a child, Luffy in this case. The reason why everybody feels so strongly that Jinny herself is Luffy's mom is actually just one simple reason, and I don't know, I'm buying into the theory personally. Jinny first appears just literally eating meat, which is like Luffy's signature. We don't really have any other characters that eat meat like that. I mean, I don't know, at least the ages between herself and Dragon would add up if they were to then go on to be Luffy's parents. Luffy's love for meat would make sense if it was passed down from his own mother, who was seen right there eating meat. And I'm not even sure if I'm looking too deep into it, but she even seems to have the same smile as Luffy, but we'll just have to wait and see. Again, like I said, I'm buying into this theory. I'm pretty sure this is Luffy's mom, and I'm pretty sure that the next few chapters are not only going to continue the God Valley flashback, but go on to reveal that this is indeed Luffy's mom. Now, late into the editing process, I took the liberty to go around and play with the colors of Jinny, and I was thinking, what if instead I were to change the colors to this? Jinny would look just like Jewelry Bonney, implying that that could be her mother. This would imply that Kuma met her in God Valley, and this would also make sense considering it's Kuma's flashback specifically. And even crazier, what if Jinny is both Jewelry Bonney and Luffy's mother? It would explain how the three of them are all gluttons and love food. But I think going that far is getting a little carried away, but it is interesting to think about all the different possibilities. Now, if you enjoyed this video, why not press the like button? It's free. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment. Help press that subscribe button. It's also free, and it would help push my small channel on the algorithm. Besides that, the comment question of the day is this: is Jinny Luffy's mom? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.